Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And we got some special guests with us this morning. We have the founder and CEO of the Lip Bar, Melissa Butler. Welcome.
Hey.
And we also have co-founders of Roques Roots, Dr. Ellen Rucker-Sellers and Ione Rucker-Jamison. Welcome.
Hey,
Good
y'all.
morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you
Yes.
so much for having us.
No, the reason we wanted you here today is because there's all this conversation about Target and should folks boycott Target because they rolled back their DEI policies. But then there are people who say we should be doing a buyout and supporting all the black-owned products in Target. And you all have black-owned products in Target. So we wanted to hear from you all.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform.
You got to talk to Mike. Talk to the mic. To the mic.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform. You know, I think it's very important for brand owners to have a voice in this because every day we are in there grinding. We have worked so hard to get on the shelf. The shelf space is a covenant space, right? Everybody didn't get the opportunity. And for a brand to get to shelf space is a huge process. Like
It takes years.
It takes years. It really does. And to stay there, it's so hard too. And so I'm so glad that you gave us this platform because we need our community. We need our community to, galvanize around these black brands because we're fighting the good fight too, right? So
Let's take it
thank
back.
you.
Let's take it back. Let's go to the product. Let's start with, since you're speaking, let's talk about Roques Roots. What Roques Roots is, and talk about the process of selling your product. Because most people don't know, they don't understand. Like you said, they automatically think you have a product, you put it in Walmart, and you're good money.
Oh, no.
They don't understand that it goes from one store and then a region and then from multiple stores. So break it down to what Roques Roots is, how it started, and how you.
So for Roques Roots, we're an all-natural hair care company. Ione and I started it in 2015 with the goal of being a household brand, right? And so we started it in professional salons. So we gave product to, stylists and let them use the product. We had a distributor. Then we went to trade shows, which we met Melissa at several trade shows, trying to get your product out there so you're in front of the consumer. And once you get the notoriety or once you get enough recognition amongst some of these retailers, they come to you and say, hey, let's talk about coming into retail. And so our first retailer was Sally's Beauty and then Target. And after you get one, you get more. But in order to stay in those retail stores, you get audited basically every year. You have a line review. If you're not performing, guess what? Your space is gone. And so when we look at the boycott, I'm not telling people not to boycott. Like, that's not in my spirit. That's not where I come from. Boycotting is part of, our bloodline, right? What I am telling people is you can't forget these black brands that have worked so hard to get there because it's a long process.
And see, that's why I think a buyout is good because of what you said. If, these products are sitting on the shelf in Target and nobody goes in there and buys them, then that gives them a reason just to say, you know what, get this stuff out of here anyway.
And honestly, isn't that the goal? Right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that the goal? And that's what we're working. That's the goal for them, to weed us out, to discourage us, to, bring trauma and drama and all the things that, as black women, we have to deal with every single day anyway.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Ellen and I are sisters, and we're
Right.
from South Carolina, fellow
Yes.
South Carolinians, so Charlamagne, and we come from a very big family in a very small town, where 4 out of 10 people in our town are unbanked or either underbanked. So they don't have the debit cards to shop online. All they have is to go into our local Walmart and get products off the shelves. So that's 40% of our clientele that can't shop online. Now, we're not telling you not to shop online because, as we all know, we want you to shop online. But, we come from a small town where a lot of our clientele can't shop online.
We just getting
just
Wi-Fi in some of these rural areas.
We couldn't even, when
Right.
COVID hit our hometown, we couldn't even have remote schools because most of the people don't have the internet.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So we want our people to be able to go to the Walmart and pick up our products and shop.
And I think more than anything, so throughout this process, it's been
really disappointing to feel the wrath of our own community. Like I started the Lip Bar in 2012, literally making lipstick in my kitchen because I was frustrated with the beauty industry, its lack of diversity, its excessive amounts of chemicals. But I really wanted to center Black women. And I've been doing that for 12 years. Like 12 years, I've been standing up for Black women saying, hey, you are enough. Hey, I am creating products for you. Hey, I'm making sure that I am building our self-esteem collectively. And so when this happens, I want our community to know that, like, we are disappointed too. Like, we're upset with Target and Walmart and Google and all of these companies that have shut down their DEI. But to ask us to remove our products from retail, it's unrealistic, because what does that look like? For most Black businesses, it looks like us shutting down our actual businesses. So you ask, like, how does it work to get into retail? Well, how it works is we buy inventory up front, months in advance, almost a year in advance.
Explain that for people.
So when you think about
To the mic,
retail,
just pull the mic up just a little so they can hear you. Yep.
when you think about retail, it's kind of a crazy thing. Like, we buy products to sit on shelf just in case you want it,
Right.
which means that we are having to outlay capital at the forefront for thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of units, so that if you go into your local Target, Walmart, CVS, it is available for you.
So you basically front and target the brick.
Absolutely.
Because what happens
Is
is
there a minimum on that, like amount of inventory?
It depends on how many doors
I
you're
know
in.
some stores do have that. And
Yeah,
it's a large
ab-
amount, and they don't give you money to up
And they
that.
don't give you money to up it. And so you have to buy that inventory, but you don't get paid on that inventory for sometimes 8 months, a year, depending on when you set. And then once they place the order, you can have terms that are net 60, net 90. So, like, Black-owned brands are waiting on their finances to come through. We can't just pull our products from Target. We're in contracts with them. We are, for the most part, dependent on retailers to ensure that we have the visibility and to make sure that we have the turns. Now, some people will say, like, oh, well, just, make sure they shop at your .com. Y'all, in 2020, when Black people, when it was a trend to shop Black businesses, we all benefited. We all benefited. It felt good. We were living in the money. We hired more people. We bought more inventory. And then guess what? It wasn't in vogue to shop Black anymore. So I want us to remember the buying power of Black businesses. Sure, if you want to boycott. Because, like, there is so much power in our dollars. But at the end of the day, we have to be intentional about our shopping to make sure that our dollars are going back to our communities. Because guess what? Black people hire Black people. Like, my team is 75% Black. My team is 100% women. I'm investing in my community. I gave $35,000 in grants to Black women last year. So it's like, this is what Black businesses are doing. So the minute you decide that shopping Black is a trend, it negatively impacts us. The minute you decide that you won't shop in the stores that carry our products, it will impact us. Now, we're not here to say you should shop in these retailers. If you feel disrespected, you have the ability and the right to take your dollars wherever you are most comfortable. But to your point, don't forget about us. Please do, in fact, go to our .coms.
Exactly. And honestly, if you think about the amount of money that is spent, Black people spend on beauty brands, it's like $9.4 billion, right? And as a brand founder, we get about a small percentage of that, like 2.5% is spent with, Black brands. Think about our community, and if all that $9.4 billion went to these Black brands.
That's right, man.
Yeah, then
And
we
what
would
we
have our
can
own
do.
Target.
And then we could have our own targets. And so that's the thing that, we need to, I think that we need to, I know that there's a boycott. I'm not telling people not to boycott. I understand that. But I think we have to switch our mindset to, hey, we haven't been, shopping fully with these Black brands all along. How about, we flood their spaces, stop buying any other brand and just buy Black. The power in that.
Yeah, because the reality is, and when all of this first started happening, I didn't even know that Target had all of these black brands.
Oh,
yes.
So
absolutely.
to me, that's a good thing to
Yeah.
to have the awareness. But now, what do we do with that awareness?
And then
Absolutely.
women, I feel like girls who follow beauty, like I remember when you got into Target, and I remember being like, oh my God, like that's so lit. Now I don't have to go and like scavenger hunt for her. So it's unfortunate I remember when Tabitha Brown got into Target, like we kind of celebrated because it is the platform, but at the same time, there is some weird stuff because like I saw a report that one of the brands said that they found out when we found out that the DEI
Oh,
was
we
happening. Was that
all
true?
found out
That'll
live.
make y'all feel away?
So they didn't inform y'all? No emails went out and nothing?
Nothing.
And so now we're just on the front lines fighting for our lives on social media because people are coming at us as if we did it, as if we created it. So no, we did not have a heads up. That was very unfortunate. But I will say, like myself, people like Tabitha Brown, people like B from Honey Pot, we have been having constant conversation with Target about the impacts, about their responsibility in the matter, and frankly pushing them on what they need to do next. And so just know that just because like we are online and we're still selling our products, that does not mean that in the background we are not fighting the good fight within the retailer. Because at the end of the day, like I know people are upset with Target and Walmart, but like we actually have skin in the game. Like, yeah, you need to find a new place to shop your toilet paper, but we are actually in business with them. So of course we're upset. We are more upset with these retailers for blindsiding us and for frankly not being clear on what this actually means. Now that being said, all of those brands for the most part shopped or launched in Target before DEI was this 3-letter trend word. Like going back to like Dark and Lovely, they've been pushing and building small Black-owned businesses. So as far as I know, they will continue to do that. But the reality is we are witnessing an attack of DEI. We are witnessing an attack from the government on DEI. So like, how are we all supposed to manage that? Are we supposed to shut down our Gmails?
I was going to ask, did DEI get your products in there? Did they give you the opportunity to get in there?
No. We got into retail because we were a strong brand. Now, do some of the buyers look like us and they appreciate representation? Absolutely. Some of the buyers that we have met with, with some of our retailers, they are African American buyers, and that's so important too, to make sure that we have those people in those positions so that they can bring in brands like us and understand the importance. But if you look at how much African Americans spend, I mean,
these retailers are all in the money making business, right? And we spend money, so
it's a business.
We don't foresee our brands going in. I mean, we don't. They want to make money, and our consumers spend the most money. That's just facts. So I just really
Black women spend 9 times our white counterparts on beauty products. And so obviously there's a difference in a Black woman's hair and a white woman's hair. In terms of makeup, aside from color theory and a brand caring enough to actually have a wide range of colors, there's no real difference. And so my buying team is actually not women of color. They've never been women of color. And so I think that speaks to the idea that, like, to your point, they're in the money business. Like, everybody here is trying to fill a gap. Everyone is trying to figure out, how do I get more customers to shop our products? And this is where, if you have a Rucker Roots, if you have a Lip Bar, and you understand that this can bring a different customer, you have an advantage. And so we all have strong businesses. We all have strong brands. We have strong followings. And that's how we've been able to stay in retail this long.
Yes.
Last time I got hand on your products, Melissa, we was at the DNC convention, and Governor Gretchen Whitmer
Oh my God.
came
Big
with a
Gretch.
bunch of products
Love
just
her.
to give me and Angela Rye, and who else was it? Tiffany Cross, just gave us all products at the table. So it's clearly not just
I
Black
love
women
Big
that are
Gretch.
doing stuff.
So I am from Detroit. Detroit is a big part of my resilience and my grit. And like, she has stood up for Michigan in a big way. And so she's one of those people where it's like, if she decided tomorrow that she can't use the word DEI anymore, I'm not going to say like, oh, she not about the people. Because it's like, she has shown me over the years that she is showing up. But we love us some Big Rich.
I want to expound on that, right? Because somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true, they said Target didn't actually roll back their initiatives. They just changed the name. Is that true?
I think that a lot of these corporations are scared to get sued by the government, right? I think that's what they are nervous about, you know, this new administration coming in and making all these changes, and the war on diversity, equity, inclusion, and they're scared to get sued if they put it out there. And I know, you know, just this week we just shipped huge orders to, you know, one of our retailers.
Really?
Yeah, we've had
major expansion.
Yeah,
so.
but you know, that has been in the plan for a long time, like Melissa spoke to earlier. It's not like an overnight thing, but of course they could have gone in and canceled those orders. They could have not sent them to us because that is their prerogative too, to not send the purchase orders. But we're in the process of shipping tons of inventory to one of these major retailers that have come out and said that they are against the diversity, equity, inclusion.
Oh, so they doubled down on their DEI. So they're like, send us your stuff. Basically.
No, they are part of the they have Rollback diversity, equity, inclusion.
Gotcha.
But we are getting huge purchase orders from
The
them.
product is moving, so they can't deny it.
But we need the people to go into the stores and purchase the
What's
product.
the store? Can we say the store name?
Yeah,
Walmart.
Walmart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same on the Target front. So like we've had conversations and we're like, what does this mean for our brand? Because like, you know, it's crazy to the idea of like being so outspoken on this without going to Target themselves. Like we want to go straight to the source. So we like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
What
that
does
was
this
the
mean?
first thing
What does
that
this
we
mean for
did.
our brands? And they're like, this means nothing for your brand.
Exactly.
We will continue to invest in your brand, and we've seen purchase orders, you know, that were larger than usual, but not because like they feel bad, because the products are moving.
Right.
Like we're known for our lip colors. Like we've been doing this for 12 years and we continue to grow year over year. And so that retailer is going to see that and they're going to continue to double down. They're not just kicking all the black brands out. I just want to be clear about that.
Exactly.
But I wonder if that's because of they're calling it a boycott, because there's some people who are like, no, I'm gonna go in these stores and I'm gonna buy all the black products. I may not, buy anything else, but I'm gonna go buy the black products.
And we want you to do that.
Absolutely.
And we're not we're not here to tell you where to shop. We're here to ask you to shop with us. You know, we're not telling you,
buy black.
We're not telling you not to go into Target.
Telling people the effects of what it does to your business. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was something because Tamika Mallory was here and she was saying that, when people go to these stores, sometimes they forget, they'll go to get.
They might go get the lip bar, they might go get Rucker Roots,
exactly,
but then they're like, that toilet paper $2.
Right, I got to grab some toilet paper. That's the reason they do it. But people don't, understand the effects of people who are, have businesses in Target or Walmart or Sam's Clubs or Costco that it affects. So what do you tell those people? So you tell them, look, we understand the boycott, but you gotta understand that we're supporting so many of our community, and we gotta make this happen. We gotta make this work somehow, some way.
I tell them, shop wherever you decide to shop, but shop black, shop with us. We want you to buy the products wherever you feel comfortable buying them, wherever you have access to buying them, because so many people, like Ione was mentioning earlier, they only have a certain amount of stores that they can actually shop.
If you have the luxury of boycotting and you feel the need to boycott, then go ahead and do that. But some people don't have that luxury, like I said. And we have, we always talk about promoting generational wealth, promoting, giving back. We have a fund, a Rucker Education Scholarship Fund, where it's going on our 12th year, where we give back scholarships to students from our hometown that are first-generation scholarship students. So we want to do more of that in our community. We want to create more generational wealth. And in order to do that, you have to continue to support our brands because we have done everything. Like Melissa just said, we just fronted so much inventory, and we want to sell it through because if not, then we'll have these huge buybacks and chargebacks, and that just really hurts our business and our brands.
You mentioned the thing about Target just changing the name. They did both. So they changed the name of their supplier diversity team to supplier engagement. And then they also got rid of their belonging at the bullseye, which is a strategy to include Black employees build meaningful careers and improve experience of Black shoppers and promote Black-owned businesses. So they did both of them.
And I know we're talking about Target, but for us, Rucker Roots, we're in seven different retail stores. So there's so many other options to shop.
Target, who else?
So we're in Target, we're in JCPenney, we're in Belk, we're in Sally's, we're in Amazon, we're in
Walmart.
And if you look at, JCPenney and Belk, they have doubled down on their DEI. They are adamant about keeping diversity, equity, inclusion with, their companies. And we're there too. So, we and our products, we're on shelf at all of those places. And as a Black-owned business, if you're going to boycott one, then flood the other. Our website is, we have a warehouse in Indian Land, South Carolina, where we're shipping, packing, sending orders out every day on our e-commerce. And a lot of times I own and I are in there. Like last week, I posted on my social media, I was like wrapping a pallet that was going out to Walmart. Like we're still in there grinding every single day. And so if you're going to, say, okay, we're going to not shop here, then shop elsewhere. Support the brand elsewhere where you feel comfortable.
I think one of the misconceptions is that if a brand is in retail, they've already made it. Like
Yeah,
they're already huge. And it's like, just because, we get press or because we're on the Breakfast Club, that does not mean that the brand has actually gone the distance.
Right.
So I just want people to know that by not shopping, Black owned, no matter what the channel is, know that you are impacting how someone is feeding their family.
Absolutely.
Like, just because the lip bar, press and likes do not equal dollars. Like, let's not get fooled by the social media hype,
so
y'all.
true.
And so people will say like, oh, they already got it. It's fine. They can miss the dollars. No, because we got payroll every 2 weeks, my boy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We got warehouse rent. We got rent to pay. We got all the things. So
What about? Oh, go ahead. I was going to ask, behind the scenes though, I don't know how close a lot of you, like the Black-owned brands, were in these major retailers, whether it's Target, Walmart, whatever. But I feel like now, because y'all are kind of going through this together, has it created a line of communication or a system where you guys are figuring out things amongst your own selves for the up and coming like Black-owned brands that'll hit retail like shops and?
Yeah, I had a call actually like pretty much immediately after it happened. Renee Blewett from She Did That. She helped organize it. And my first thing was like, y'all need to reach out to your buyers, because a lot of people are afraid. A lot of people were like, I don't think I have the leverage to even reach out to Target and ask them what's going on. I'm
But
like,
there's smaller brands in Target that
they're
are Black-owned.
smaller
That's why I
brands.
said that, yeah.
But meanwhile, it's like we've been in Target for like 8 years. So I know that I can reach out, and I did reach out very aggressively actually. But I'm like, no, reach out to let them know that we are coming together. Reach out to let them know that we are demanding that y'all give us some responses and some meaning to what this is. Reach out and let them know that like we won't just stand for this. And so like I do think that it is bridging the gap, because typically, I think one of the issues in the Black community is that we hold things to the chest, and it's okay to be vulnerable, because like the more we are vulnerable, the more information we get, and the more information we have, then we can actually make better decisions. And so I think it's absolutely happening, and I'm proud of the work that a lot of the Black-owned businesses are doing right now.
Can we talk more about is it fair for Black-owned products to receive backlash for still having their products in Target or any of these stores that are rolling back the DEI?
No, it's not fair. No,
No.
it's not fair.
No.
Because here's the thing. Like, people are complaining on Meta that has rolled back their DEI.
Right.
People are using their Gmail that has rolled back their DEI. People saying that Black-owned businesses that are already small, that are already underfunded, Black women receive less than 1% of all VC dollars. And I actually think that the number went down post-COVID. Like, we can't afford to do it. So what people are asking us to do is essentially like, sell our houses, close our doors, fire our entire teams. And it's like, are you doing that for the community?
Right.
Are you doing that for the struggle? Like, are you quitting your job without a plan to feed your family? Like, until we are all like locked in arms that this is what we're doing for the culture, it is unfair. Now, we're not over here saying you need to keep shopping at Target or Walmart or Amazon, any of these places, because they have all decided to shut down DEI. What we have said is like,
Shop my website.
We have websites.
Yeah.
I have a store in Detroit. Like, shop wherever you choose to shop. That is your prerogative.
Give us a little.
And I can say that 25% of our sales come from our internet, from our e-commerce, from our website. So the other 75% is from being on the shelves.
Yeah.
So that's our livelihood. So we need
absolutely.
you guys, we need to stay on the shelves, and we need you guys to purchase from Walmart and Target.
Give the Black brands more than 2.5% of the $9.4 billion that it's spent in on beauty.
Yeah.
And it's
right?
so easy.
Give us
beauty.
more percent. Give us a little bit more of that, money, right? I mean, that's all we're asking. Because people gonna buy. People gonna be
I want us to be honest. Yeah. Like, if you go into your makeup bag, if you go into your linen closet, if you go into your actual closet, how many of those brands, like your fashions, how much of it is Black owned? How much of your makeup bag? Not
I'm gonna say, I make it a point. 100%, not today. Today's a little bit different, but I make it a point. But go ahead.
But everything, like your pantry, like your fashions, your hair, your makeup, like the lip bar is constantly begging people to shop the lip bar over Elf or over NYX. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's not just about the lip bar. There are lots of Black owned brands you can shop. This is not just about
it's
us.
about our community, right?
It's about our community.
It's about our community.
We would love for you to go on our .com, but we know that only 25% of our sales come from there. I mean, we make more money when you shop on our website, our business website. So, but
has anybody from Target reached out at all?
Yeah, I've talked to Target about 6 times.
Done for like 2 weeks.
Okay, but what do they say? Like, what do they say to y'all?
They ain't saying nothing.
But like our sales team with Walmart, we've had several conversations with them, like really strong conversations, and they say the same thing. We didn't bring you in because of diversity, equity, inclusion. We brought you in because you're a strong brand.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna keep you there as long as you're performing. But that's the key. We have to perform.
But do they plan to like say more to kind of like protect y'all a little? Not protect y'all, because y'all don't need them to protect.
I don't even know why they put out a press release to begin with to say they were willing
I
to
feel like they kind of like it aggravated things when
it did.
Yeah,
it did.
So they don't plan on like what's the remedy? Because if this was the Black Square era, they would have been came out and I don't know, wear a cloth or something. So what do they do?
Kente cloth 25% off at Target right now.
When Nancy Pelosi wore the Kente
that time was a different time. Now they can be silent and no one cares and it's like whatever. But like do they plan, because you guys don't seem like you're leaving anytime soon.
Well, we can't afford to leave.
Right.
You can't.
But so it's a partnership. It's
I think that people have to continue to put pressure. Honestly. So, I mean, in my conversations with Target, they have been apologetic. They have been clear that they are continuously investing in small Black and brown brands. Like, this is literally from like their mouths over the last 2 weeks. But I'm like, listen, don't say it to me. Say it to the public, because it's the public who is upset. It's the public who you owe something to, not just your vendors. And so I think we have to just continue to tell our story and demand what we want to see.
And I wonder, I haven't spoken to, and this is why it's so difficult, right? Because I love y'all, but then I love the Nina Turners and I love the Tamika Mallory's, and I understand why you feel the way y'all feel, and I understand why they feel the way they feel. But I wondered, was there any conversations amongst y'all? Did anybody, did any of the people wanting to boycott call any of the people who have brands in the store?
Nope. I talked to Roland Martin.
Okay.
And he was like, we got to boycott. And I said, well, we got to do whatever we got to do. But just make sure that y'all are clear on having a plan to continue to
Support y'all.
invest in and support Black businesses, because it can't be this thing where it's trendy to shop Black today and then 2 weeks later, you know, we're not in vogue anymore.
Yeah,
Like 2020.
for
The sad
sure. I
thing
mean, I
about it-
live with someone that's on the front lines.
Bacari
You-
sellers.
Yeah,
That's
my
right.
husband is
right.
on TV fighting the good fight every single night, and we have these conversations at home. And you know, he understands that I have a business to promote. He appreciates the boycott. We're, you know, boycotting, and you know, civil rights movement is part of our bloodline. Like, we're from the Deep South.
That's right.
And in that, I appreciate, you know, their movement, because that's how things have changed in history. But like Melissa said, you know, it can't just be a trend to forget about these Black brands. And so I think it just has to be, you know, people have to look at it in a different lens. And that's why I think it's so important for Black brands to have these conversations with the public. Like, hey, you know, that's great. You know, if that's what you want to do, then, you know, vote with your dollar. That's fine.
I think what you said, the thing is conversation, right? It's something that you said earlier. Most time people, when they see something in a store, they automatically think you made it, right?
Yeah,
They
no.
automatically think it's successful. You guys are rich. You guys are filthy. You guys are billionaires, because they don't understand what it takes. So without having these conversations, people don't understand. And not only that, as a dad that goes into Sally's, a lot of times I don't know what's a Black brand or what's a regular brand. My wife says, go get some shampoo. Or we need a new shampoo for whatever. So when I asked the lady at the front desk, who a lot of times might not be Black, she gonna
And don't
tell
think
me-
you Black.
Watch your mouth.
It's true.
Watch your mouth.
It's
Stop,
true.
Charlamagne.
Y'all do die too? Y'all- no.
No.
They're taking a shot at me saying that I use just for men. But anyway,
To support Black brands. That's basically what he's asking. It's like,
but
how
we need to
can
have more of these conversations so people
Right.
understand what it is, because a lot of times I don't think people actually get it, because the first thing you think of is when you see a brand in Target is that you guys have made it. No. And it's not necessarily the truth.
And I believe, you know, there's guys like John O'Brien who have presented, you know, plans on what should happen. I believe what he says. He says we should redirect energy towards supporting companies that double down on DEI. And he says we should position diversity, equity, and inclusion as a business imperative, not a political agenda.
Right. Right.
But is
absolutely.
it realistic to do that when the government has made it a political agenda? So some of the companies, right, and Target aside, like, if the government is like, we're gonna cut your funding,
Right.
if you uphold your DEI, what is that company supposed to do? So maybe it doesn't impact Costco, because maybe they're not receiving government subsidies. But for those companies that are, like, how does that work? And I'm really asking, because I feel like we have to be clear that it's not just the companies that are doing this DEI pullback. It's also Trump, if we're just gonna be honest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's because
them.
of Trump. But I guess, you know, John O'Brien is saying that you should reframe the narrative around diversity, equity, and inclusion as critical for economic competitiveness, innovation, and market growth. Like, it impacts your bottom line. Like, that's what we should be telling these companies.
They know that though.
Do they?
What? Yeah. When first thing you learn, in if you have a retail background or seller's background at all, is market study and numbers. Retail stores are placed. They choose clothing that goes into Nordstrom's based off who lives around that Nordstrom. They know what people look like, how they shop. They know all of that. It's just, do they have to care? Kind of to her point.
And that's what I said. That's why when I said do they, it's like, why would they even put out a press release? Like, why would they just put this
Well,
press
they
release
didn't,
out
because
and
I
say we're
think they
rolling
was
back
leaked.
DEI?
they didn't
But
put
from the Target perspective,
Oh,
they
I didn't
didn't
know
put
that.
out a press release.
Oh,
I didn't know that
Something
either.
was leaked.
Oh.
And that's why, like, they still haven't said anything, because they're like, we didn't say anything
in the first place.
But nobody said anything. I haven't seen Walmart say anything.
Oh, Walmart absolutely put out a
They
release.
did. Okay, what they say?
But they did say what they're going to continue to do, and I think that is what is owed to the people. Like, instead of just saying, like, okay, we're killing DEI, be clear on what that means.
Right.
Be clear on what that means for not only your customers but the people who work there.
Yeah.
Or if they're concerned about Trump and the administration, you know, giving them, you know, lawsuits or whatever, if they continue, change the name. Like, do emerging brands. Like, you know, change the name, but don't eliminate, you know, these brand owners and these companies that work so hard to get to the place that,
Because if you say you're just getting rid of DEI, they think that you just don't care about black people. You don't care about, whether black people shop
and black
there.
people get. First of all, black people are not the biggest beneficiaries of DEI. It's white women. It's white women. It's veterans, and it goes so much further than just black people. It's DEI is the pumping rooms that women have when they're pregnant. DEI is the accessible ramps for disabled people. But I know black people, because we are so unfortunately used to being oppressed in this country, we immediately are like, they hate black people.
Right.
And rightfully so, right? So it's like, okay, well, tell us that you don't. And I think that's what we're all waiting for from all of these companies.
Let me ask this question, and I know that y'all have answered it in different ways throughout the interview, but I just want to be clear. What do you think is the appropriate strategy to let these companies know that we don't like how they drop DEI without affecting y'all's bottom line?
The companies or our community?
Both.
I think we have to keep being vocal. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a bullseye on Target and saying, we won't accept this. But I also think that in the same vein, we have to be intentional shoppers to ensure that we are actually voting with our dollar. But like, keep putting the pressure on Target. Why not?
Will that bullseye affect your business, though? Will they look back and be like, you know what? Melissa's being too difficult with this damn bullseye. Let me go here.
Melissa says she don't care if they boycott Target.
Not if our sales aren't impacted. So like, they speak green first.
Yes,
So
exactly.
boycott.
So if you're performing, and if your products aren't just sitting there, and if they're making money and all the things, then they're gonna keep you there.
Then Melissa can say whatever she wants to say. And it'll be fine, because all they care about is the money.
But you the biggest black-owned makeup company in Target, right?
Yeah. And we've been in Target since 2017, 2018, and we've grown year over year. And like, of course, we're disappointed, but we're not gonna pull our products from Target in this moment because it doesn't make financial sense for us. But we will continue to put pressure on Target and say, yo, like, this is not okay.
Right.
Question for go ahead.
No, go ahead. You
go.
I don't even know what I'm about to say.
I was going to ask, because this whole thing brings up a conversation of like how people feel when, especially the black beauty brands, begin to, like, if they're bought out by non-black people, stuff like that. I remember, I think was it Courtney's brand or was it Maya? It was one of those brands that something like that happened with, and they got dragged for it. And when this happened, I remember there was a thread that I read, and they were basically saying, this is why we should only sell through us. And I was like, but what does that look like? How do you do that? I guess it's like owning your own store in Detroit and doing more of that versus being in the Target. How do you guys feel about that conversation of like, like even in, I don't know, investors or kind of the capitalism conversation?
I think that it's important for us to remember that when you're growing a brand and you get to a certain level, there's only so much that you can do, and you have to bring in investors, and you have to bring in different, amounts of money to scale to the global and to hit that global brand. And when companies decide to sell, I know a lot of companies have to sell, but they also bring that money back to the community. They give so much money. They funnel all that, so many scholarships and so many, grants and everything back into the community. I think it's kind of unfair to put that amount of pressure on black brands, because aren't you growing your brand for legacy, for economic growth in your community? Aren't you growing your brand so that you can make a difference, that you can leave something behind greater than you? Isn't that the purpose?
I want to see you sell record roots for $1 billion and then go open up 5 more businesses.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and so in other communities, people don't give them hell for selling their products.
No, they get celebrated.
They get celebrated, and I think that's so unfair. And it is unfortunate. I don't like it.
When Rich Dennis sold Shea Moisture, he started the New Voices Fund to invest in black women. And some of your favorite entrepreneurs were beneficiaries of him selling Shea Moisture. So he invested in Lip Bar, he invested in Slutty Vegan, he invested in Honey Pot, he invested in Mayo Organics, he He invested in Natural Club. Like literally almost a lot of the poppin' Black-owned businesses right now came as a result of that sale. So to your point,
Right.
it's really about what people do with the money when they sell. And then I totally understand people being upset, like, oh, we can't have nothing. Because I feel like that's how the community feels. Like, you know, as soon as a brand grows or we support it, they sell to a white company or a white person. And my question to you is like, well, who do we sell it to? Unfortunately, there are no Black Procter & Gamble's or Unilevers. Because why? Because we only spend 2.5% of the $9.4 billion with Black brands. And so if we were to pool our dollars, and even if we just only focused on beauty and said, you know what, I can commit to only shopping Black beauty. Clothing might be harder, shoes might be harder, you know, your pantry might be harder, but beauty is not that hard.
No.
There are hundreds of Black-owned beauty brands, but we are still fighting with multinational corporations. People are absolutely still buying the L'Oreals and Maybellines instead of the Lip Bars and the Danessa Myricks. And so we would love to shop or sell to Black people. It's just that that's not an option. So what do? Do we not realize our generational wealth? Because most Black people, our wealth is actually tied in our equity, which means that we have to have a liquidation event. That's what it's called. A liquidation event is when you sell some of your equity so that you can get some of the money. Yeah, Melissa Butler of the Lip Bar is a millionaire on paper, baby. On paper, which means that I need to do something to actually get liquid. So I want y'all to understand how business works, especially when you fundraise.
But that's the most difficult thing, right? You're trying to explain business to people who don't have no business. So they really not supposed to get it.
They don't have the education for it.
That's right.
But they're loud. But they're loud.
They're loud.
They're loud.
Like I remember when they got mad at Beatrice when she sold for what was it, $380 or something like that, and she kept the minority stake and was still CEO. And I'm just like, I was happy for her.
So
But everybody,
happy.
like to your point, like we can't have nothing.
And it's like, who she gonna sell it to?
Exactly.
Until we get to the point where we have, you know, these people that have grown brands like, you know, Rich Dennis that can actually help invest and buy, you know, companies and all those things. Until we grow more of those people, until we have that status, then we don't have, you know.
And it'll continue to happen.
Yeah.
Well, go out and support these ladies, please.
Tell them how. How do they support Rucker Roots? How do they support the Lip Bar?
www.ruckerroots.com. You can find us in 7 different retailers. You know, choose where, but just support us.
And the Lip Bar?
TheLipBar.com. If you're in Detroit, we have our own store, but we're also Amazon, Walmart, Target, CVS. And you can follow us on all social platforms at The Lip Bar.
And any final just messages for the community? Because I don't want to see y'all tweeting after this interview at people. Just say what you need to say now.
No, we love y'all. You know, we need you. We love you. We are here for the fight. We're in it. We, you know, for us, we're not telling you to not boycott, but we're telling you to, you know, support these brands, support our brand.
We're going on 10-year anniversary, and we couldn't have done it without our consumers and our loyal customers. So thank you. Continue to support Rucker Roots. Follow us on all platforms at Rucker Roots. And, of course, Ellen said online, ruckerroots.com.
And we're on Amazon, Walmart, Target, Sally's, Belk, JCPenney, and our website.
I'll just say the Lip Bar has always been a community-based business. It's the community that has got us this far, and please know that we will continue to invest in the community. Like, we will never turn our back. Like, I am from the blackest city in America, Detroit, Michigan. So just know that I am always putting us first.
Amen. There you have it.
That's right.
And it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.